for Ace's Towing Company here.
Randy Thorne, who got the name Ace. There's a story behind it. I don't have time for that here tonight. But we've been friends for a long, long time, right, Ace?
1968.
Right. We both flunked at least one semester of college together. All because of automobiles. And I tell you, the long run, look how it's paid off here with all this friendship. But over the years, they were always looking for newsletter articles, right, Noel?
Yes, sir.
About different stuff and all that. So I wrote up a little poem based on some of the experiences that Ace had. You had a D convertible, right? Three of them. And one of them you got out in Oregon.
Yes.
And it was pretty rough shape, wasn't it?
No engine, no transmission, no rear end.
And it rolled off a cliff.
No seats.
Rolled off of a cliff. So all this information I kind of put together in a little poem that I sent. This come out of the 300 Club newsletter, I think, from somewhere it would have been in the 80s. And I was down at his place in Red when he was in Minnesota. He hauled this Hulk from Oregon to Minnesota and did some work on it. He had some paint work, so the body was just painted, come fresh out of the paint shop. Remember that? You painted it buzzard red. Isn't that a proper color? No, buzzard red. and anyhow, he is moving. He moved from Oregon to Minnesota, and now he's moving back again to Oregon. So he has this body, this 300D convertible body. What was the serial number?
1167.
And where is it now?
I don't know. It
Okay.
disappeared.
So now he's moving, and he has all of his belongings on the front lawn of his house, along with this 300D convertible body. And he must have put all this stuff in there and drive it and haul it out to Oregon. And he had some long trim on the 300D, the long side trim. And it was really, really nice. And he was packing the household belongings in this body, and he didn't want to put those long strips in there because for fear he'd bend them up. So I said, well, let's bolt them on the car. Well, he tried to bolt them on the car, and the putty was so thick. You put the trim clips on, and you go in the trunk to put the nut on the back. There wasn't any studs sticking out. Remember this?
That's true.
So anyhow, I put together a little poem that I sent to George and Eleanor Reel, and they put it in the newsletter. He asked me before this meet here, Mike, dig up some old newsletters and everything else. If you could bring it to me and maybe relive some of the stuff, the technical stuff that we need to know that we forgot. And I ran across this poem that I sent to George Reel and Eleanor, and I'm going to read it for you. This is Tribute to My 300D Rag by Randy Thorne, Red Wing, Minnesota. Off an Oregon mountain in the valley below, once upon a time this D rag did roll. Over and down and around it careened. It ended up at the bottom of a washed out ravine. When I saw it there, a battered wreck. The world deemed it hopeless, but oh, what the heck. I'm going to fix her up for the world to see. A professional restorer, they'll think of me. I've worked on it hard both day and nights and burned out a dozen rough service lights. The holes in the floor have a function, you know, for throwing out wine bottles down the road we go. Right, Jenny? The crash pad is torn, but the radio plays nice. The glove box has had 8 generations of mice. The seat is set high, the power mechanism broke, so through the hole in the top, my head I do poke. Randy's what, 6'3", right?
Not quite.
Okay. That muscle-bound Hemi with 2 4s of course, on wide open throttle, it colors my shorts. Right, Randy? But in my garage for a decade it's been, I really feel guilty, I know it's a sin. But the paint is all covered with a protective shell of pigeon droppings through the years that fell. thinking that maybe some century there'll be a trophy winner for Jenny and me. So whatever they say, don't matter to me, because we really love our buzzard red D. we put this in the newsletter, so this is information from the newsletter from in the 80s. So, thank you. I had to share this with you. I've been thinking about this for a while.
Pretty cool, Mike.
I have a picture to go along with it, with all this stuff on your front lawn, and you had your big cowboy hat on, and you had your kickers and shorts there, and you were sitting there, you looked like that Kellogg's cornflake guy that stands with the pitchfork there, he's there with a somber face, but thank you. Thank you so much. John, back to you, what did you think of that?
Very clever.
You can have, you want a copy of it?
We will keep this?
You can keep that, do
Okay.
whatever you want,
We'll,
maybe resubmit it to the newsletter.
We might do that.
I think we all need a copy.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming. Our goal was to make sure that everyone had a good time. We hope you did, but thank you for coming. That's the big thing. And one other thing, for your trips home, we got a cooler full of water on ice. Please take water with you when you leave. You don't want to run out. That's all. Thank you all.